Hello everybody, hope everybody's having a great day today. Welcome back to Dev Actualized. Today we're going to be diving into the UseCallback hook in React. We're going to be discussing what it is, why it's important, and how to properly use it in the real world. And be sure to stick around to the end to find out about a common scenario that gets developers hung up all the time and can cause some serious headaches. So diving right in, UseCallback is a hook used to prevent the unnecessary recreation of functions. And why is this important? Well, it's important because recreating a function on every render can cause significant performance issues, particularly in the cases where you are doing a lot of heavy computation. So you might be asking yourself, well, why does React recreate the function on every render? And it has to do with this being an inherent behavior with React, and it has to do with a concept called referential equality. So in JavaScript, functions are objects, and objects are compared not on equivalent values, but on equivalent references, which essentially means the block of memory they are located in. It's the same way you can have identical books from the library, same author, same title, but not the exact same book. Essentially, when you re-render, you get a new copy of that book, or in our case, we get a new copy of the function. So I've set up a little demo example here with a parent component stock dashboard and 3 children components stock trader, and that's these here. And basically I have wrapped the children components in memo, which essentially prevents the children from being re-rendered provided their props don't change. So if you look, I've passed in just a stock name, and I've also passed in a function. But if you watch, when I click refresh dashboard, it's going to refresh these children components, as you can see there, right? So calculate function is being passed in here, and it's just looping through. It has a for loop here, and it's just pushing to an array, and the results array are being displayed in the stocks here. So the reason that this is happening is because every single time this function is being recreated. So how do we fix it? Well, we wrap it in a UseCallback. And so I'll show you how that looks right now. And we give it an empty dependency array just like that. And if I save, now we have calculate average wrapped in a UseCallback. So now when I refresh the dashboard, which is just updating some state in this parent component, it's updating refresh count here. It's not going to be re-rendered. So these children are not being re-rendered, which is great, right? Because if you see, if I refresh, they do this stuff, and it causes performance issues. So that's basically UseCallback in a nutshell. Now there's one example where some people can get hung up on, and I'll show you how it works. So if I have some code here commented out, and I'll uncomment it now so you can see how this works. Let's say in my children component I have some sort of data here at the top. Now right now leading is representing the stock that is growing the fastest. Let's say within a certain time limit, like 24 hours, it's growing the fastest. Let's say right now it's Tesla. And that's coming from fastest growing stock, which we set in calculate average here. So calculate average coming back here. We set it in here. So we set fastest growing stock to leading stock, which is just a variable here, and it comes from some state, which is just a array right here. So Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. And if you can see in the console, every single time I press shuffle stocks, which is just a function to shuffle some stocks, it just randomizes this data. You'll see at the down here, let's look at what it is right now. It's Tesla, Amazon, Apple, shuffle stocks. It's going to log that from here in the parent component, and it has been shuffled. But if you notice, and I'll click it again just to show you, and now it's different. It was Google here for the first index and Apple here. But if you notice, it still says Tesla, right? If I refresh, it still says Tesla. And the reason that is because these callbacks, when you use UseCallback, it essentially freezes that function at that point in time. So it does all the calculations, it keeps the function the same between re-renders, and it doesn't update it at all unless you tell it how to update, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But just to understand the problem, we are doing the 0th index of top stock, which is Tesla, and we're setting it to leading stock, which is then being set to set fastest growing stock, which is being displayed in here, right? And there we go, leading and fastest growing stock. So between every re-render, it still thinks that it's Tesla from the first time it ever rendered, right? Or from first time it was ever created. So what we need to do is we need to take, okay, well, what is it dependent on? It's dependent on top stock. So, because we're getting the 0th index of top stock. So we need to add that to the dependency array of UseCallback so that whenever top stock changes, or yeah, whenever this state changes, it's going to change, it's going to load this function. It's going to change this function. So if I save this now and I hit shuffle stocks, now it does, the function gets changed, it's recreated, and when that happens, obviously the children components change, but now I get a new leading stock every single time. But if I refresh dashboard, nothing changes, and that's because nothing has told this function to change except top stock, which would be here. So yep, so that's basically UseCallback in a nutshell. If you learned anything or have any questions, please put them in the comment section below, or like, comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. All right.